Hey, so this video is how to assemble your Tao Leo. Unfortunately, the first video of us unwrapping it all, it disappeared. So we're gonna get right into it. Hope you enjoy the video. Let me know if you have any questions.
That together. Tools we used were 6mm or on a socket, 6mm Allen key, 5mm Allen key, 12mm wrench and a 10mm, 16 for pedals, all your extensions for your sockets and your wrench handles. A tap hammer to get the axle bolt out, and pliers, cutters, a knife.
Okay, so we took all the packaging off the handles, and then you've got this gooseneck bolt, and that is a
22mm.
22mm, so you got to take that off.
It's just tab tight.
So put this right back on after you take that piece off and tighten it.
If you got a torque wrench, 80 pounds.
There you go.
Mirrors. Reflectors that go on the end of the pedals. I've never put these on. Pedal cranks, pedals, pedal caps.
This is your bolt kit.
Handlebars.
For your handlebars. Okay, it's running away. 6mm handlebar bolts.
That's 6mm Allen.
So the handlebars have to go on top of that bolt. Okay, just like so. So you finish tightening these like crazy, and then the keys are going to be found kind of hidden, and the fobs are on there as well. Another suggestion, tighten them again once you've got the handlebars on and you can turn them. Next, we got the fender and the windshield that is taped at the front. Another note, front of the bike, this little gap that you see, that is an ism to Tao Leos. They always seem to have a little gap on the one side. So just
to
that,
be able to jack it.
That's the jack that is recommended, because we got, obviously, because it's a jack. But in order to not damage those bottom fairings, I guess they're called, we're gonna take those off because there's a flat bar underneath here. Hard to see, but that's what the jack's going to lift up. And that's why we're just gonna take those off. To take these out, there's one underneath, one at the front, and then 1, 2, and 3. Okay, with the jack, you want to put something that protects it from scratching the underneath of the bike, so tape or wood. And then that jack is going to...
The cross number here.
See, that's where it's going to lift
just
up.
Want to jack it up enough
to take the pressure off.
Just to take the pressure. So just kind of just.
There we go. Okay, take the pressure off, and then that.
Okay, so we're okay there now.
Mm-hmm. And that comes out. The wires are still, there's one on either side that holds the bike.
Over.
Right, so it's not going to tip on either side.
Just so you don't damage the threads.
Tappity tap tap.
And your spacers, don't lose those. Are we rolling?
Yep.
Okay, so this is going to interfere with putting your front wheel on. Doesn't matter how high you jack that, and it's just dangerous to jack it too high. So what we're going to do is we're going to cut the support wires that are holding the bike up right now on either side. We're going to get our partner to hold the back. Then we're going to pick this up, and we're going to just walk it over here. We're going to set the forks down on a nice soft pad so we don't scratch it. Come ahead a little bit, so we're going to come off the sand and roll it out of there.
Yeah, so am I pulling, pushing?
You gotta push, yeah, okay.
Ready?
Ahead.
Yep.
And then over. Am I okay there?
Nope. Now you are.
Okay. Fingers.
Yep.
And then.
Yeah.
And we're we're gonna put a couple of safety measures in the form of 2 more jack stands. And we're gonna position these under the back axle like that, and like that.
So make sure when you put the front wheel on, there's a directional arrow that's on tires, so rotating forward, so that goes forward.
So top of the tire pointing forward.
Yep.
Okay, so in order to get the brake disc in between here, we need to spread these out. Spread them as far apart as you can. Give yourself enough play as you can.
Yep.
I do it with a screwdriver, but if you're going to do that, put a pad over it, or unless you got some kind of a nylon pry bar. But put some tape over it so you don't damage the pad. And just slide it in there and just gently just work those apart. If you've got your zip ties still on your handlebars, holding your brake pads or holding your brake on, this will not work. You have to cut those off. We did that already. Okay, so nice and wide. They're back and forth. So we've got our axle bolt started. Okay, so we're going to put the spacers in. Short one. I'm facing the bike, but if you're sitting on the bike, the short one goes on the right side, the long one on the left. It's pretty evident if you get it backwards.
Yeah.
You'll know right away.
I'm going to show the
now we're going to
bolt started on that side.
Yep. Started. So now we're going to get the brake disc in between the brake pads on both sides. You can turn your shocks a little bit.
Yep.
To help you out. All right, and now we're going to pick this up and line up the holes in the shock with the holes in the wheel.
You need like a third
and
arm.
This is a little tricky sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure holding the bike.
Here.
Oops.
Well, and this is where you need somebody not holding a camera and having somebody...
Yeah, to pull the shocks apart a little bit, or if you got a wedge or something, which we may have to do. These are a little bit tight, these ones, so we're going to get a wedge.
Yeah.
Give me a second here, we're going to wedge these shocks apart a little bit.
Okay. Tires on.
So with our axle bolt, we're just going to snug this down. We don't want to be torquing anything while it's up on jack stands. Whoops.
Ready.
Okay, so we've got our axle bolt in. We just snugged it up because we don't want to be we don't want to be torquing anything while the bike's not so stable on these jack stands. We're going to give it a spin, and we're just going to use our front brake here and put all the fluid, squeeze all the fluid back down into the calipers so your brakes start to grab just like that.
Easy.
First thing, kickstand down, and safety jacks out. Pick this up, and partner gets to take the jack stands out.
They're out.
Oh, both?
Yeah.
And there we go, one wheel on the ground.
Woo!
Alright, so the first thing when you get it on the ground is finish tightening up your axle bolt. And that, you got a torque wrench, 90 to 100 pounds. And then go to the back, check your rear axle bolt. There's lock nuts on here. I believe this is a 30 mil, but I use this little guy because he's still on hand here. And you just got to make sure they're snugged up, and they are. And all in one, you're going to take a 10 mil socket. You're going to check all your caliper bolts. Brake calipers. I've never had one loose yet, but it's always good to check them. 2 calipers on the front. And the one on the back.
You should be at least an hour in at this point, and we're just putting the finishing touches on the bike. So mirrors, windshield, bottom piece. We're going to check the tire pressure, of course, to the 32, and then we'll do a light check. So the breaker needs to be turned on, which is underneath here. Okay, moment of truth. Oh, we didn't do the fender too. Okay, well, we know it's got power. There we go. So it is on right now. We've got our 4 ways on. That's what's going on here. So 4 ways on to check your lights. Oh, sorry, 4 ways on to check our lights. Let's go back here. We're good. Lights at the front. Okay, so you're gonna do that. What else? Oh, we didn't do the fender.
We've had our grubby mitts all over these brake discs. It's important you clean them. You can just take a cloth and some alcohol or even just some Windex and wipe them down. But get the grease off them. I just use brake clean because you don't have to wipe anything.
Oh, okay, just spray it.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you just spray it inside of wherever you got little fingerprints. Just spray it off the whole disc.